so far, but in the end, it doesn't.
So if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. And if you want to help me on my journey to 150 subscribers, you know what to do. Obviously today we're talking about, obviously today we're talking about Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz Jr. and Deontay Wilder saying he doesn't need a comeback fight. Deontay Wilder, in my eyes, doesn't need a comeback fight, but he would wise to take a comeback fight because after the beating he suffered over Tyson Fury, you don't just come back from a beating like that and act all dandy like nothing's happened. That beating that Deontay suffered will take years off his career, and will he ever be the same after the Andy Ruiz fight? If that happens, I don't think so. I think Deontay Wilder's power's still there, but everything that he had going for him is being mentally taken apart by the beating that Tyson Fury left on him, and Deontay Wilder's the type of guy, he's like so narcissistic. He's like, I'm the best, I want this earth like a god and all that. So when really he's not invincible. Tyson Fury showed that, and I think Andy Ruiz fight would be a very good learning curve for Deontay Wilder. Obviously you can't write Deontay off, but I just really think Andy Ruiz is fast, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I think after the beating Deontay suffered, I don't think he will ever be the same. So obviously I would, if that fight was to get made, I would lean heavily towards Andy Ruiz, but I wouldn't count on Andy Ruiz winning, if that makes sense, because as we've seen, Deontay can have the power to knock out a horse. He almost knocked out Tyson Fury the third time they fought. So and obviously we'll have to see how the relationship with Malik Scott develops. I think Malik Scott is a good match for Deontay Wilder in the later part of his career. I feel Deontay has only got 1 or 2 or maybe 3 fights left, and I think these fights culminate in a vacant WBC title fight with I think, you know, like Dillian White, basically, because I think right, listen, what I think's gonna happen. I think the WBC are gonna upgrade Tyson Fury to franchise champion, and then God hoping Deontay Wilder gets 2 good wins, and then he gets put in there with Dillian White, and hopefully, and I'm not just saying this, he should get past Dillian White very easily if that fight was to be made, because I just feel Tyson Fury will get upgraded to franchise champion, or Tyson Fury could retire and then the belts become vacant, and then yeah, there's so many scenarios that could happen. But obviously, if the Andy Ruiz Deontay Wilder fight gets made, I would want Andy Ruiz to win, but my heart says Deontay Wilder. So if you like my content, bye and peace, guys. Like and subscribe. Remember, my goal is 150 subscribers, so tell your friends, tell your family. Bye and peace, love you lots. Bye and peace.
Now, ever since my birth, I've been cursed since I'm born to wild. In case I never get to holler at my unborn child.